WWE is on the road to Night of Champions, and if you want more on Night of Champions, we broke that down in previous videos this week, and just the complicated situation that is going on with that one in Saudi Arabia and everything that is happening in that part of the world. And again, just hoping and praying that everyone is safe in that situation. But let's get on now to what happened on Monday Night Raw. And I thought the real highlight of this were the promos that we got from Goldberg and Gunther ahead of Saturday night's main event. Goldberg's promo, it was the sit-down one, it was heavily edited and a pre-tape, but it comes across just so authentic. That has been this great part of this final chapter of Goldberg's run, when he does all the stuff with like Lashley and Lesnar and I think some Kevin Owens in there as well. Like this kind of the gray beard run of Bill Goldberg. He has done a great job of being able to integrate his real, like how he actually is, and basically just being himself with that intensity just turned up just a little bit more. And so I think because we have seen like more interviews of him in documentaries and everything, and now how he comes across here, it just comes across like he is just genuine and authentic and legitimately a badass. So I think this was a really good promo to just get you fired up and just get you into the Goldberg mystique. You don't watch him limp his way down to the ring, but he still has that intensity about him. This one a little bit more calm than some of the other "you're next" stuff, but there is still something about Bill Goldberg that can get you excited, and so I thought he was great. And then counter to that, I thought Gunther's promo was fantastic. It showed that he is taking him seriously, which again, like we have seen, Gunther is just like, oh, you mean nothing to me. It doesn't matter. And then something happens, and now all of a sudden, I hate you. And this is a blood feud. We've seen that a couple of times with Gunther. Sorry, swing of water for the working man. Sorry, definitely could have muted the mic there, but, you know, live and all that. But, like, Gunther, the progression, it is a little one note at times where I don't take you seriously. Now I take you seriously and I must end you. But he is so good at it that it flows. And some of the one-liners here, I'm going to apologize to his wife and children for what I'm going to do to the man that used to be Goldberg was just, oh my God. And then it is my personal responsibility to make sure that the myth and legacy of Bill Goldberg forever dies. Now, WWE probably not stoked that the crowd cheered that line, but that was a line. That was a line. And just an excellent, serious promo from Gunther, really getting you ready for Saturday night's main event. And I think really driving home that maybe he is not the biggest star, but Gunther is the best in the world right now, certainly when it comes to WWE and probably everywhere else. Cody is going back to the King of the Ring final. The match with Jey Uso, I thought was great. I know that Jay's wrestling isn't for everyone, but this was a fantastic showing. The crowd was into it. The match had a really good flow. It built up to a couple of very good moments. And when Jay hits that crossroads on Cody, that got a real pop for that near fall. So the people are into the Jey Uso rise for sure still. And I thought it was great. I am obviously I think Cody is the way to go at Night of Champions. That one seems pretty predictable now at this point to go with him and John Cena at SummerSlam. But on the other side of this, I'm interested to see where Jay goes now. He is still viewed as a main eventer. The crowd still loves him. And so the follow-up for this is going to be very important to see what direction they can go with Jey Uso. So I am interested to see the follow-up because obviously he is going to hang around this top picture, I think, for a little bit. On the women's side, Jade Cargill is going to the Queen of the Ring final. She beats Roxanne Perez in a really fun match. I think that it was pretty competitive, and they let both of them shine. And honestly, I think this was probably the best singles match that Jade has had. And I like that it isn't just a big squash for Roxanne. That Roxy leaves this match feeling elevated and feeling like she is in a bigger spot, even in defeat. And that is, again, you listen to Jim Ross's podcast and you hear him, he's like, it's a TV show. You should be able to lose. If you can't lose, then your character sucks. Because if the only way your character's good is if we beat you, or is if you beat everybody, it's not that you probably don't have that strong of a character. And so for Roxy to be able to be elevated coming off of a loss like this, I thought was great. And the interesting direction with her now, we did the video for Living Room Lariat this week, where talking about how Roxy feels like the best fit now to come in for a Liv Morgan. You get her helping out Raquel, and now slowly getting her way into that. So I think that there is a very, very good thing happening here with Roxy Perez. And now for Jade, like, again, I feel like she feels like she is the favorite coming up on Saturday afternoon against Asuka, and probably getting an opportunity against Tiffany Stratton in what will be an interesting test, I think, for both, because the Tiffany babyface run and title run has not been great. But she is a fantastic performer. And you have Jade, who still needs some work, and is Tiffany that type who can be able to pull that kind of a championship level match out of her. So I'm interested to see the direction of the characters and everything like that. But, maybe getting ahead of ourselves just a little bit in this particular one. Bouncing around here a little bit, but the opening promo from Seth Rollins. I have said before, I am not the biggest fan of Seth Rollins. That being said, this was a structurally sound promo. It got the crowd invested, and it was entertaining for 15 minutes. That being said, it was a 15-minute promo at the start of your show, which is a go-home show for a premium live event this weekend, and then you got like 19 other things to go, and this advanced nothing. It was 15 minutes of talking. I was entertained by it, and that was it. In terms of progressing anything at all, it didn't really do that. So, cool, but we need more. This group is fun. I like how it is set up. I like it a lot. We need a name, and we need this to progress now a little bit from just they beat people up every week, and then Seth Rollins comes out and, I'm a revolutionary. We need more than that. Now, Penta and Braun Breaker put on just an absolute show. Like, watching this match, my brain went to, I could see this as a main event at WrestleMania. I really could. Like, Braun Breaker is so captivating in the ring, and we've been watching him for so long, and the athleticism and the explosiveness and the creativity that is now just coming out of this kid. Like that, the first part is figuring out how to harness that so that he's not killing himself, basically, in the ring or others. Okay, check. But now, all right, we gotta, in the best way possible, we got a freak on our hands. Not in the Scott Steiner way that he would refer to as freaks, but you know what I mean. We got something here. What are some ways that we can make this even more compelling from a television standpoint? And I think Penta can bring a lot out of him there. So honestly, I thought that these two both, again, elevated themselves as much as you can on a Monday Night Raw match. Braun, just everything about him feels like a superstar. And Penta, we've known that for a long time. He does get kind of sucked back into the Chad Gable vortex at some point. Gable shit talks him and then breaks his arm, which is going to lead to a lot of interesting things coming out with El Grande Americano. And you could see the little Easter egg of Ludwig Kaiser walking in the background. And a lot of people pointed out, if we're going for someone with a similar build to Chad Gable, it's not it's not corporate things that wants us to look at these two pictures, although they're exact same. But there's something there. It's similar enough that you can go with it with Ludwig Kaiser. So I am interested in that. Becky Lynch and Bayley put on a show for the Intercontinental Championship. I thought they were having an excellent match before the interference. And even with that, I thought it was done well. Like the constant teases of Becky looking for a disqualification, looking for a count out. It happened enough that you just kind of thought, this isn't going to happen. And then it did. And so I thought, really strong match. Becky and Bayley flow so well together. And I know, like, of the four horsewomen, these aren't going to be the rivals that you remember from either of them. But their in-ring chemistry is just fantastic. And so again, talking about Mania main events, I would love to see these two really get that level of a spotlight. And it seems like they're going to get something at SummerSlam, as this is definitely going to be Evolution. With Lyra tied in, but I think that this can progress to that point. I think a triple threat with Lyra is going to be just a fantastic match. I like that she's not forgotten in all of this. I think I would have liked something a little bit fresher, like just pivot away from this world a bit more, but I do think that this will be fun. And then lastly, Karrion Kross gets his match with Sami Zayn. It feels like we're starting to get to an advancement with Sami here. And as I've said, like, he is an awesome performer. It's a great character, but something does need to advance with this guy now. And so I think there's an opportunity to be able to do that with the Sami Zayn character. So overall, really entertaining episode of Monday Night Raw. And again, a reminder, Living Room Lariat. There is a new wrestling podcast from Couch Potato Diary. Living Room Lariat. We're going to have a ton of wrestling on there. It is all the wrestling segments from the week on Couch Potato Diary, all into one. So if you were watching for the wrestling today and you didn't necessarily want to sit through my picks on the Canadian Football League, there's going to be a spot for you every Friday. It is going to be up first thing in the morning on Friday to lead you into SmackDown or whatever is happening on the PLEs. It's going to be there. You can now subscribe over on Spotify. Look up Living Room Lariat wherever. Not right now. It is just on Spotify. Going to expand it out once the episodes start flowing through there. But yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of the stuff you hear on the flagship stuff, plus some exclusive content that isn't going to be on the podcast here. So I'm really excited about having a wrestling specific venture here for Couch Potato Diary.